Hello everyone, welcome back to MrTopHatKM Maker. Today's guide will be on banners. As you can see, in Kingdom Maker, banners play a key role in identifying who is who when you can't recognise the name, albeit from someone you don't even know to someone you know quite well. Banners are capabilities for anyone, and today I will be going for a few designs you can do yourself. As you can see on the screen right now, this is my banner, which follows a theme like my clans. So let's just get rid of all this, and let's start from scratch. Let's change up the colours a little bit. Let's go for a little black here. See, banners in Kingdom Maker, you can make an all sorts. You could go Scottish, you could go for an English look if you so wanted. It all comes down to what you know. Maybe a banner from the past keeps your eye. What it comes down to is your preference. So let's start our own little banner from scratch. Now in Kingdom Maker, you can choose a wide range of patterns for your background. And one of the key design elements I use myself is called the ring effect. It's where you take two circles and overlap them with a small space in between the two. This creates a small ring-like border. Now while I'm altering these designs, you could be following along with me. That way we know what you want exactly. Now once I finish sorting this ring design out to the size I think is appropriate, I will change the colour scheme. For example, since we've got a grey background, I'm going to have a white centre. And maybe a bit of contrast to have the ring being black. That way it feels a bit more powerful and contrasting. Now, another key factor in emblem design, or banner design, whichever you prefer calling it, is your identifying symbol. Across my shard or server, I'm known for my raven. Most people can identify me by my unique favoritism towards the raven icon. And I'm actually going to change the colour scheme just to fit my design and how I create mine. Obviously sometimes I will use a different pattern, but I am going for what is normal for me to use, which is like this brownish green for an inner circle. That way it's not just the background, it's not like see-through, it's that way we've got actually a nice little contrast between the greens. What else I'll do is this cross design, if you layer it behind one of the circles, you can create this nice little pointed effect. This adds a bit more depth to your design. For example, in the ring effect, it makes it not seem just like some plain old circle. And the final key factor in my design is a little crown I do. Since I am the vice leader in my clan, I have this crown to identify that. Obviously it's just a little aesthetic for me. A lot of players in my clan do use these, simply because it looks nice. It's quite fitting since we want to be number one. So when we go back, this is how it will appear on our profile. And let's come back and do a completely new design. Now, let's see. What can we do? Maybe a little phoenix design. So with this design, I'm going to change the background to black. That way we can do a shadowed effect. Now the shadow effect is similar to the ring effect, where you would layer the same symbol over the other one, and you can change the background colour of this little shadow effect to anything you want. Albeit, if you want to be sinister, you can go for a nice red, or a bit more plain with the white. Any colour will do. This little purple I'm doing at the moment, it looks quite alright. Let's see if any back patterns will work. I'm not really liking this design so far. Maybe we can change up the posturing to centre this and see if that works. Okay. I like this white a bit more, gives it a bit more depth. And let's just readjust it so we can get a better effect and resize everything. Obviously, this will take time, and you can never get it right the first try. There's no getting it right the first try when creating your banner. I probably spent hours and hours designing my banners, any design I do. Let's get another phoenix in here, low, and there's another effect you can do, which is a multi-shadow effect, which could, in theory, create a 3D effect if you would place the colours right. But it does give this nice little aura that some areas are lighted differently than the rest. You can change these colour schemes to be the same, might add a bit more depth or other areas, that way it's got a nice little outline. It comes down to whatever colours you prefer. This gives me the effect that it is eclipsed, and that can really create an effect. And let's just go through the symbols and see if there's anything that picks our eye, because in Kingdom Maker you can have a wide variety. And another design I've seen floating around the community is this bull design, which was created by one of the older players in our society. It is made from 2 balls, as you can see, and one of those balls you would have to do the black background. I will be trying this multiple times, that way you can see whichever colours can fit. But if you adjust these to a certain extent, you can get this like jack-o'-lantern effect, where it looks like the bull is smiling or showing its teeth, which obviously, as you know, bulls don't have sharp teeth. It does take me a fair bit to get there, because this is actually quite tedious to get the exact design I'm after. You could do a wide variety, but I have managed. Let's go for orange, which does give off that jack-o'-lantern vibe. At this point in time, I'm trying to see if I can actually make it like a jack-o'-lantern, and hopefully that works. So yeah, I will be altering this slightly, but let's get this underway. This is actually quite tedious for me, because sometimes the colour schemes just don't work. Like, you could do this, and if you notice at the sides where the mouth is, it doesn't line up properly. So typically in these designs I just go with the regular black background because it just works better. But I will be giving this a few more tries to see if I can get it lined up. Obviously you could go for like a completely bizarre design, like 2 ball heads on top of each other. You could also go back to the black background, as that does allow you to have more versatility, as some of the other colours don't layer properly, unlike the black does, in which we can create this smiling savage bull design. And the orange for this is quite nice in my opinion, and I will be just having to realign these because I did mess it up slightly, but there we go. That looks nice and pleasant. Gives off that evil vibe if you want to play the villain in this game. And another part of this design that I really do enjoy is this sun part that they did at the top, in which they will layer the suns just like you have done with the bull, and it will create this unique effect. It does take a bit of time, but I have been practicing for this so I can do it quickly for you. So it all comes down to a bit of rearranging. For example, you could do this for all you want, or this, and then you could go, this is the design I saw. It's actually quite satisfying in my opinion. I will be trying a few designs. This does look like a snowflake to me for some reason. Come on, let's just get this. Oh, this is an interesting effect. It's just like the phoenix we did before. So let's try putting another sun inside. Let's see how well that processes. This is quite troublesome. Maybe if I put it back a few layers, maybe that can help. As you can see on the left side, you have 3 button prompts on the image you select. There is a upwards facing arrow which will send your image or symbol to a higher layer, just like these ones, or to the bottom layer so they appear behind. Let's say if you were to move the sun down, you would have it put behind it by putting it on a little layer, and the X obviously just deletes it. Let's just play around with the colour schemes a bit. In my opinion, either the white or the orange does fit best with this design because it gives off that Halloween feeling. Like there is something spooky going on, which I probably will be designing my own unique Halloween design for banners, which I will publish on Halloween for you guys. So let's just keep playing around with these. Maybe try and center it, because let's just say there's nothing less satisfying than having a uncentered symbol. I will probably, if I couldn't do it, I would spend hours and hours until the design was absolutely centered. Obviously, in the limited time I have, I will not be doing that, but let's just throw in a few more symbols, shall we? Maybe this star can help bring some uniqueness to our design. I don't think it will myself, so I will just be getting rid of it. Let's see, what other designs can we make? Oh, we've got this castle design here. Let's see what we can do with this, shall we? Obviously, this won't work with the sun design I have currently, so we may just have to get rid of it. Let's see. Should we get rid of this ball, or should we bring it back? Let's bring the ball back because it's quite it's hard to describe. Like a satisfying effect. There's something about it perfectly lining up with the teeth that speaks to me. So let's just keep that for the time being. Let's play around with this castle. Let's see. We could rotate it. We could do another shadowed effect. So let's just get this up. Let's see how well this looks. Figure out which design will work best for this. Obviously you may not like this, and that's perfectly fine. So we could end up just scrapping this whole idea. But it comes down to personal preference. If you like this design, you can feel free to do it yourself. So obviously I've done this like shadowed effect like I've done with multiple other things, and it does look quite nice, but let's flip this upside down, because in my opinion this kind of looks like a skeleton head. I don't know about yourself, but let's try and add on to this. Let's just line these up nice and steadily. Obviously this does look alright. It doesn't look the best, but let's just get rid of that. Maybe we could do a hanging design with this chain. Obviously there is like this bug with the chains where they won't stay straight like they do here. So you will have like a slight slant when you let go of it, which it's not too bad, but it can get picky for some people. So unless you aren't bothered by it, I do recommend you use chains because they can create a wonderful effect for your banners. Just like a lot of my designs, I will use the shadow effect. But let's go from scratch. Let's go with one of my old designs I used to do before we went with this theme on my clan. It's just the same, pretty much, but it's white and black, which reminds me of winter for some reason. So obviously let's get my iconic raven that I always use. In most of my designs I will use the raven or crow, whichever one this is. So just like I've done before, I will be creating the ring effect. You can have the ring size to however you want. I like a nice thinner ring because it just allows me to have a larger symbol. You could have the smallest ring design for all you care. Here is, and then we can add this sun in, which can create this nice little spiky effect. If you add in a second one, you will have to rotate it a little bit. That way it's not too bad, and resize it so it's just not a complete duplicate. And then we have like this portal-ish effect, as if the raven's coming through. We can change up the colours if we so fit, but just like in a lot of things in Kingdom Maker, the designs are everything. It's what drew me to this game, at least. You customise your nobles, the colour of their outfits, the banners, and there is a unique thing with the banners, which I will be showing later on. But let's come back to the castle. Okay, and then let's head back to the alliance. As you can see in the alliance menu, barely any banners are the same. They are always different unless it's like a secondary clan, in which Wolfstorm here does do that. They've got obviously the Academy and normal Wolfstorm. Let's see what their banners is like. They've obviously got this nice white and goldish effect. Obviously it is quite difficult to get every single member to do this design. I'm actually quite proud of my clan for doing this because they've done it quite alright. But as you can see, even the Academy, not everyone's got it. You don't have to, it's not mandatory. It's just like a uniform effect. And some clans, they don't do uniform effects like Log Horizon. They just let players express themselves. Furians, same with Log Horizon, they don't have a uniform. They do have this nice purplish gold hue though. And as you know, there are probably hundreds of clans in Kingdom Maker. So there is this nice little feature I like. It's when you go to the state map, you can see next to a lot of the main capital cities, you'll see these banners next to them, and also if you were in Alliance, you will have banners scattered across the map of your clan flag. So when you take a capital, this effect will show up. And another feature I do enjoy myself is when you go into combat, you will have two sets of banners. One will be yourself or any of your allies, and one will be the opponents and their allies. If you've got the uniform effect, it does give off this edgy look and like unity. So let's attack this more order. As you can see, allies will show up on either side. Obviously I've not got anyone joining me today, but I do like how this is how you can identify someone in combat, where you will have your icon or your allies if the enemy is getting reinforcements. Obviously I'm attacking a NPC. Obviously also NPCs do have their own banners. Each different type does. There are marauders, there's separatists, there is ravengers, Royal Army, and Orc Quarries, and all that wonderful stuff. Obviously, I am getting through this quite well since this is severely underleveled for my army, despite being a level 16, simply because I'm quite developed compared to these. It's quite easy to beat them, and quite easily we do win against this. So let's come back, and let's come back to the city actually. And that feature I was talking about, I'll show you later. If you zoom in on any of your towers or your keep, you can see the primary colour of your banner above them. This is a nice little effect I do enjoy that Kingdom Maker has done. There is also another lovely thing you can see. If you zoom in towards your keep, you can see not only your banner, but the clan banner. And obviously my nobles aren't exactly all matching, so let's just fix that real quick. Obviously you can play around with the colours. It's either goldish or green. I do prefer the green myself for the theme, since that is the priority colour. And let's just have a look around, see if there's any cloth wearers. Here's my executioner. Obviously they look like they can't fit in that helmet. So cloth, in my opinion, does look better in this game. You can play around with the colours all you want to get a nice matching set. Some matching sets I found that I do enjoy is white and red, black and white, black and green, and black and purple. Obviously this is just my preference. I like having black in my things, simply because I'm quite noir. I like dull colours. So once that's done, let's come to the keep. You will be able to see this yourself. Each keep level is slightly different. That's just from progression. Yours may not look like this. Yours may look like the level 10 or 11 and below, or the level 21 and above. Obviously the banners do not exactly fit. It's not that much of a bother because you can still see the icon and any accessories you have. So that's nice. And let's just go over my clan real quick. We've obviously got this orange and gold effect, which is quite nice in my opinion. Obviously, if you do not like any of the designs, you can create your own. That's the amazing thing. There's no exact design you can go for. You can create anything you want, and that is just amazing. So I do appreciate if you have made it this far, and obviously I will be making more guides in the future. This was a bit longer than usual compared to my last one, which was only short since it was only a combat. If you appreciate these long ending ones, come back and enjoy. Thank you.